So today I want to talk about improvisation. I want to talk about improvisation today. Just being able to pick up a guitar and let's say you're playing a song and you forget the tab and you're in front of people. Can you improvise through it? Um, that's a good thing. That's a good quality that every musician should have. Or would you just stop playing? Can you improvise through things, or would you just stop playing? That's a question. Because I've done numerous gigs in my younger years, and there was sometimes that I would actually forget the music, but but I have the ability to improvise my way through it. If you got a bunch of songs to remember, that can be hard. If you have a bunch of songs to remember, that can be very hard. But if you have good improvisation skills, even if you forget the original music, you can improvise through it and it'll work. You know what I mean? So, see what, like if I'm playing and I forget it, yeah, I forgot that part. Like I forget that part instead of just bumbling around. I just get, see, I actually messed up on purpose because I wanted to show that if you forget something, if you're playing and you forget something, you could just so like if you I look like if I forgot that part, I'm playing out and I forget that part, I'm like, where do I go to? I just start improvising. And it still sounds good, man. People are like, oh, okay, he still knows. At least he knows what he's doing. He forgot that part, but you know what I mean. It would work. I wouldn't just keep fumbling around. I would just start improvising. If I'm playing out in front of people, I would just start improvising, man. And it works, man, because you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's hard, yeah. That part is hard, man, because you're like, I was trying to remember that. So yeah, so that's like I would just improv through that. If I forget that, if I'm playing out, yeah, okay, I get it now. God, man. gotta just improvise through it though. I mean, if you're playing with a band, even if you make like I was making a little couple little errors there, but I was improvising through it. If you're playing with a band, it's not really gonna be noticeable if you can improvise. You forget the lead solo, or I forgot that part. That's kind of hard to do, man. That's like the Wes Montgomery type thing, you know. I'm trying to, I was trying to remember that, and then just like that's basic rhythm. I'm working off of basically a D major seven to an E sus two, E minor sus two, or a D, and sometimes he switched it. George Benson, he would like have a D here, and then sometimes go. So like I do an ARP over there. That's like a E major seven ARP over an E minor seven. No, that's a G. What? Sorry, that's a G minor. Wait. G major seven ARP over E minor seven sus two. So you got D. Do this D major seven ARP. And that's there's a word for that. Us musicians call it. It's called musical sense. Musical sense, because you know when you're playing, you get to where you know what notes are going to fit in there, what notes are actually going to sound good, and what notes that are not going to sound good. You know what I mean? So you know when I'm playing this song, let's say I'm playing out, you know, and I'm like, and I forget the solo, you know, I could just improv through it. I'll go through it one more time. Oh, Mr. Benson, if you see this, please forgive me, sir. But um, nobody's George Benson, man. George Benson, I'm a huge fan of that man. He's a legendary master guitar player, you know. So I'm not trying to say I'm as good as him, but I play pretty decent, you know. But yeah, he's a legend, man. George Benson's a legend. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Benson's, and I hope he forgives me if he sees this video. Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's like see, like if it depends on what your style is, you know, like if you're playing rock. Be able to improvise. Be able to, you know, yeah, you learn tabs and stuff, you know, but what if you forget the tab? If you forget the tab, no big deal, man, because you could just improv through it, and people are going like, hey, that sounds better than they might say it sounds better than the original. You know what I mean? So Eric Johnson lick or something. But now, like, that's you know what I call Eric Johnson? Proper hippie, proper hippie, because hippies would just. Eric Johnson come along and he kind of like put a proper lead to it, you know. I ain't played that in a song in a long time, close to over. I used to play it all the time. Yeah, I forgot it, man. But I used to play Glyphs of Dover all the time, man. I was like, I did that a long time ago, man. I was like, I haven't played that song in a while. Remember that one? Guitar's out tune. Don't have a distortion, but black and black, black and black. That's pretty cool. Being able to play everything, though, it's like that's what I strive to do. I try to, this sounds really good on video, so I like doing it a lot. See how I improvised through it though, and that one part. Yeah, it's dire straight. Yeah, but I like to improvise. I like to not go completely by the tab all the time, because, like I said, if you practice improvisation, you get up there and you forget the tab. Something you forget a little section of the tab or something, and what are you gonna do? Stop? You don't have to stop. If you know how to improvise, you just improvise your way through it, and it still sounds good. People are gonna like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. You know. Yeah. I always ask people if they remember this song, because this was one of my favorite bands. Um, I really loved this band a lot. See if you know this song. Who remembers that? Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing today? Who remembers that? You gotta remember that one. Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. That's a good tune, man. It's like I like that part. That's a real catchy, man. When I heard that, like back in the '70s, it made one of my, they became one of my favorite bands. You know, it's like really got a lot of respect for that, man. That was a good group, man. I mean, I'm playing clean, but if you got a rock group and you can play their song clean and it still sounds good, then you know that's a good band. You know, because some of the stuff you can't, it don't really sound right. If you play it clean, it don't sound right. You know what I mean? But if a band sounds good like that, you know they're good, man. You know what that is? Yeah, that's a pretty cool song. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it was Hey Baby. This one right here. So how's it start out? I forgot. Oh, how's it start? See, it's real easy, man. I just forgot. I forgot that. Then it goes. I wonder why Ted Nugent, when he played out, he played the soul, and he get to this one part that I love. It's on the album. It goes. Ain't that catchy? And he quit doing that. He never did that live. He always did something different, which was good. But I like the studio version the best, man. Where he does that. Uh, yeah, I don't know that. I do love Dire Straits. As you know, I know the only thing I know by Dire Straits is the one Sultans of Swing. So it's I'll play it one more time. What the heck? I love that song. It's the only one I know from. I used to know a lot of. I used to know all that Pink Floyd stuff, but I ain't even gonna attempt it right now because I'd have to like review it and stuff, and I don't want to fluff it up, man. You know what I mean? Getting an electric guitar for Christmas. Encore. Oh, I like that. That's a nice guitar. I don't know if you've heard of. Yeah, I've heard of that. Those are nice. Uh, let's see. How's that going, man? I know what you're talking about. Crossroads. Down to the yeah, something like that. Yeah, I used to play. We used to play that one. Yeah, something like that. Oh, Little Wing, I forgot that, man. I ain't even sent that one either, man. But we used to play that. something like that. That's Little Wing. It's not exactly right. I haven't played it in years, but something like that. Yeah, I don't know that Money for Nothing. I don't know that one. I actually don't know that. I never learned that one, but I knew I used to do a lot of Black Sabbath and stuff. And one of the things that sounds really cool if you got distortion and you got a band, man, like Black Sabbath, that I really used to love to play, man, because it starts out like I like songs that starts out smooth, and then just keeps getting more progressively into the rock thing. It's like you know what I'm talking about.
Killing yourself, killing yourself to live.
I'm not a singer. Used to play all that Black Sabbath stuff. Yeah, Killing Yourself to Live was a good tune, and that one. Yeah, we used to do all that Black Sabbath, Paranoid, stuff like that. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good to do with a band. It sounds really great with a band. You got a great singer and stuff. And you just come out with, I've seen people like they think they're too high class to play that stuff, but that's good music, man. That's like I don't care how hard something is or how easy it is. If it's catchy, I like it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's hard stuff. There's complicated music. It's very very hard to play, but I think it sucks. Personally, I don't like it. You know, have you ever noticed that? And then sometimes you can run across songs that maybe have two chords in it, and it sounds great. I can't understand that, but level of difficulty has nothing to do with it. With me, something something could be very very hard to play, but horrible, but just something you don't like that that's not that don't fit your taste. You know what I mean? And then again, something can be high, but then again, something can be easy to play, but yet it's catchy as hell, man. It just like catches your ear and you just like it, man. You know. So that's the kind of person I am. I like something that's really catchy, Stevie, say his name right, man. It's an easy name. Okay, you can't talk. Stevie Ray Vaughan always sounded good. I don't care what that guy played, man. He always sounded great, man. I miss that dude, man. I seen that dude in concert. He was so phenomenal, man. And no matter what he played, he couldn't even touch a guitar without making it sound good. You know, he was like one of those guys. You know, you like just touch that guitar and it's just like magic happens. You know, that's the way Stevie was, man. So like, yeah, I love Stevie Ray, man. Stevie Ray was like, he was like, no matter what he played, it sounded good, man. You know, and I always try to promote every time, every video, just about I play this song I know, but that's because I'm trying to promote this kind of this style of music that I was trying to bring back. It's called beatnik jazz, and it was around before I was born. But I tried to modernize it and bring it back. The era doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters is that whether it's good or not. Okay, like Tim Henson, man, I love his guitar playing because it's good. You know, and playing God. When I seen that song "Playing God," I was like, you know, and I that's not my style of playing, but you know what I'm saying. I don't even touch on that because that's a completely different style of mine, and he's a master at it, and I'm a fan. Okay, but I tried to bring back the beatnik sound. I've been trying to, so I kind of do this a lot, but that kind of sound, man. It's like I love the chord progressions in that, man. It's like there's like 26 different chord changes in that, and just the bridge alone is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different chord changes just in the bridge. The bridges are like that's the reason I like that song because it's got so many different twists with the chords there, and I just love playing like that. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, come to my channel. I got the studio version on my page. If you check me out on my YouTube channel, I got the studio version. Studio version kicks butt, man. Because I had a wah pedal and everything, and I was just like, and it was like one take all the way through. First I did all the background music, and I just like did one take with the guitar all the way through, and I was just like really into it, man. I got wah pedal and all that. It just keeps getting progressively, better as you listen to it. The more it gets into the song, it gets progressively better, and it's got the wah effect. It's just like phenomenal, bro. I played that song. I recorded it one time and I played it back, and I was like, wow, that's pretty damn good, man. Just for like a little home studio that I had, And I was like, I was really from going guitar. Oh, thanks, Sky. Thanks. Let's see. Constant riffing. Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you, thank you. Constant riffing. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, man. I check out everybody. I love the guitar players nowadays. The young guitar players nowadays are like phenomenal, man. It's like so many great guitar players out there, and I like seeing that. But I have some advice for the young guitar players out there. Don't forget to learn how to improvise. Because, man, if you're playing out and you forget your part or something, and it can happen. Believe me, trust me, it can happen. And you could just come up with some kind of improv and just work your way through it, and it's still gonna sound kick ass. Excuse my French, but it's still gonna sound kick ass. It's still gonna everybody's gonna be like, wow, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So it kind of helps the musician to get through the hard spots if you know how to improvise, man. And I want to talk a little bit about too, because I like helping people out. If you learn like, okay, you're G right here, right, and you learn the major scale, right? Okay, that's your G major scale, right? Now, if you go down a whole step, which is 2 frets, 1, 2, and you make a minor chord, like A minor 7, and you do that G scale over to A minor 7, that's Dorian right there. There's your Dorian scale. Mode 2. That's what it means by mode 2, but you start from the scale pattern and then you count up. In other words, I mean, A right here, I want to hit A. I want to find a scale that hits A on mode 2. Well, that would be G major. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, sharp, G. Back starts again. G, A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Back to G. So I'll just play a little bit of that scale over this chord, and you can check it out. So that's a Dorian scale played over your A minor right there. So you learn your major scale, you automatically know Dorian. See what I'm saying? So learn scales and modes. Why do you learn scales and modes? Because no matter what chord you're playing in, if you know the scale and the modes that go along with that chord, you can improvise over it. You know what I mean? It helps you with your improvisation skills. Um, so learn your major scale. Also for your major scale, like if I move down here to D major seven, then you could take what a jazz player does is they take select notes from a scale and play just select notes over the scale. Like you got D, jazz player might go, see what I'm doing? And that's just notes from the D major scale over D major seven, and it sounds good. So a jazz player just picks select notes that sound good, and you got to know which notes to pick. And how I suggest a book that I suggest for that, two books that I suggest that you get if you're a guitar player. Get Don Latarsky, Scales and Modes. He's still selling the book. Don Latarsky. That last name's Latarski. His last name, Don Latarsky. It has scales and modes, so it's got all the scales and modes. It tells you all about the theory and stuff like that. And then, if you're interested in playing jazz, some jazz, say you don't want to be a jazz player exactly, but maybe you want to learn some jazz, which everybody should know some jazz if you're a musician. My suggestion is to get Pat Martino's at least get volume one of Pat Martino. That is an excellent book. It taught me so much about playing jazz. Jazz music. Like, okay, this is a jazz turnaround. It's called a turnaround. If you play it slow now, I was playing it slow and I was thinking, what could I put to that just playing it slow? I came here and I was stuck. And I looked at what Pat Martino said to do. He said, if you got a dominant 7 sharp 5 chord, go down a half a step off of your E string and look at it as a minor chord and just play the melodic minor scale over that. So I went, and then I resolve it to, see what I'm saying? How it sounds good? Now watch. See what I'm saying? That adds tension, and it works. It actually adds tension, and it makes it interesting, And I was like, wow, this Pat Martino's a smart guy, man. I mean, he actually, well, he's one of the forerunners of jazz, of jazz standards, making jazz standards. So Pat Martino was like one of my jazz heroes right there. Oh, I first picked up a guitar when I was about 6 years old, and I was just making chords and stuff. And then when I got about, I think it was 8 or 9, I started playing lead. I started playing lead guitar, and I played in a band called the Watts. It was way back in the 1960s. Um, no, I was 7. I was 7 years old, a little bitty guy. And my mother entered me into a guitar contest at my grade school, and I won it. I won the whole thing. They were like, wow, this kid's got talent. I was playing some blues or something like that. Doing like, something like that. I was only 7 years old, but I was only 7 years old, and I was playing like that. And people were like, "Oh, this kid's got talent." Good. So I've been playing. I've been playing for a long time. Yeah, on and off. I've been playing for a long time. I was in a rock band in the 1970s, but I did something dumb. I was getting into drugs and all that stuff, and we almost made it big. Our name was getting big, and we were doing a lot of private parties. Well, anyway, I took a bunch of drugs, and it caused me to have a stroke, and I had to learn how to walk and talk again, and play the guitar. And I was looking at old pictures of myself playing the guitar. And I used to when I used to play, I would hold the pick like you see these people with the two fingers. I did that kind of thing. I was real good. I could pick like that. But after I had the stroke, I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to find another way to pick where I could alternate pick. And I found out that if I hold the pick up like this, I could do it. So I hold the pick completely different than I did when I was a teenager. And yeah. Oh, that's cool. You play bass guitar, piano. I never could play the piano. I'm not a drummer. You're 13. Oh man, you got a long way. Yeah. Just hang at it. Get guitar lessons. Learn scales and modes. You get these people who say don't learn scales and modes. That's bullshit. Excuse my French, but that's bullshit. You want to learn scales and modes. Um, but I tell people, like, if you're already playing in a band or something, just worry about like your basic blues licks and rock licks right now. But when you're at home and practicing, learn those scales and modes. Take at your own pace, learn them, and then just keep trying to experiment at home. Get it. Don't do it out because it is a disaster. I discovered that what you do is you record yourself at home and you find out what's good and what sucks. You know what I mean? And don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Record yourself. And something sucks, throw it out. You know what I mean? But if it's good, keep it. Keep what's good and throw out what's bad. You know. I always recommend guitar players if you're not a jazz player, at least play blues, man. Clean blues for a while, so that you're used to playing clean. Because let me tell you what an embarrassment it is if somebody puts a guitar in your hands and you're a great rock guitar player, but you're used to distortion and all the effects, right? And they put a guitar in your hands and you can't do nothing with it that sounds good. You know what I mean? That's an embarrassment. So I found out that by learning jazz is like one of those types of music that it sounds good clean. It sounds good to play clean. Oh, you're playing in the garage band? Hey, that's cool, man. That's how you get. That's how you get really good. I used to play all the rock tunes, but lately I just picked it back up. I laid it down for years, and I just picked it back up, and I found out that I just been doing a lot of jazz stuff lately, just messing around. And I love rock. I love rock. I love all kinds of music, man. But I was just doing a lot of jazz stuff, just messing around, man. Because jazz kind of helps you to keep your wits about you, and always learn how to improvise. No matter what anybody tells you, man, improvisation is so important. If you can't improvise, then forget it. You know what I mean? You know, a good jazz warm up. I do. Let me see if I can do it. That kind of stuff. That's Donna Lee. So a little bit off. like that, just to warm up. That Donna Lee is like is a monster. It's like so that's Donna Lee. That's a nice one to kind of warm up to. Another one I like to relax to. I like to relax to like reggae music or rumba music, rumba blues. It's like so that one's like so it's like a kind of a what I'm saying, that kind of thing. See what I'm doing there? It's like a I got that from Robin Ford. Robin Ford's like I bought this book by Robin Ford and I thought it was pretty cool because it taught me the diminished scale and things like that. And the first thing in there was like a rumba blues, and had the tab for it. And I was looking, I was like, check this part out. Yeah, that's cool, man. It's like just like if you're relaxing, you're like, just like you gotta be in the mood for it. But I gotta be in the mood for that kind of music. But it's like it's different. It's like rumble blues, but you gotta kind of be like people are just dancing. We play heavy blues, And then people wanted to dance. We'd be playing for people, and they'd want to dance like with their lady. Guys would be wanting to dance for the lady, and I was just like, and like you play those dance tunes, you're playing out. If you can play those dance tunes, people are gonna love you, man. Instead of just playing the same way all the time, like put variety in there, and they're gonna be like, wait a minute, these people can play anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But this is like I took some of this from Robin Ford, but not all of it. And then I kind of improv through it too. Always make sure you tune your guitar. I was like, so like if you can like improv through things, man, and yeah, right, yeah. Even if you make mistakes, man. Well, the thing about it is, if you're playing and you don't have backup and you make mistakes, they're gonna stand out. But if you're playing with a band and you have great band members and you make little minor mistakes, it's still not gonna stand out. If you got a great bass player, he's gonna be like doing his thing. He's gonna like cover your mistakes. You know what I mean? So that's the reason a lot of times you see these bands that are professional and they get up there and they look like they don't make little mistakes, but sometimes they do. But if they got a professional, even like on a live show or something, but if they got a professional backup band, the keyboard player is like covering up the mistakes. The bass player, you got a keyboard player, you got a bass player, you got a drummer, you got everybody going at the same time, and it's kind of like you can't hear those little mistakes, man. They're not even gonna show up. Oh, which one? Oh no, I never heard that one. Push up. I need to check that out. It's called Push Up. Uh, oh yeah, and yeah, right. I see what you're saying. Sometimes like you be playing out, and when you first start playing a song, even playing out, you make kind of little mistakes here. But as you do it, as you get more, as you play out more, the mistakes tend to go away because you get to where you're better and better at it, and you make less and less mistakes. Yeah, yeah. But an improv player, um, you know, we don't worry about that much about, especially like if you're playing jazz and you're playing improvisation. Say I'm playing in this F minor 7 sus 2. See, jazz is like a lot of improvisation in jazz, so you're not worried about just following a tab. See, that's all out of my head. This is straight improv, man, out of my head. And it's like it's cool because jazz, see what I'm saying? And you're playing jazz, man. It's like you're doing an improvisation over jazz. I see this chord right here. I'm improvising over, right? I'm gonna use that scale pattern, but I learned variations of that. You can even play a rock scale over a lot of these jazz chords, and it still sounds good. And then you will sound jazzy. So you're like just jamming this jazz, and you learn all these different patterns, and you can. Oh, who was that? Jennifer, guitarist again, who played on a few of the. Oh yeah, man, I know what you're talking about. Oh, I know that girl. Oh man, I can't think of her name. I know who you're talking about. She's great, dude. She's great. She had a solo career going for a while too. Yeah. That song "Beat It," which I never actually learned how to play, but I love it. The song Beat It" was the guitar part was done by Eddie Van Halen, and Eddie Van Halen, he played his own style, man. I've seen people who can imitate him pretty good, but I've never seen anybody match him at his own style. You know what I mean? You need a bass player. You definitely need to pick up a riffing. You need to pick up a bass player if you can. Find somebody that knows how to play the bass, man. Even if they just know the basics, you want that full sound. If you, especially if you're gonna play out, you got a drummer, right? Find somebody who knows how to play the bass, man. Because that's my advice, man. Find somebody, you know. So like if I was doing something like a vamp like this, I'm gonna want a bass player to come along. And see while I'm doing this, bass player comes along. Might do an improv. Then get that bass back. See anything of a bass, like a stand-up player, bass player? Walking bass while I'm going. Then maybe switch it to. Comes back to the walking bass. That bass makes all the difference in the world. When you're playing, that bass makes all the difference in the world, man. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool, ain't it? Yeah. Hey, yeah, man. It's hey, thanks guys for checking me out, man. I really appreciate it, man. I really enjoy playing music, man. I was trying to remember that I haven't played it in years, but I just picked it up again. I was like trying to remember that. George Benson. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that solo, man. I love that solo. So it's like, yeah, I love Benson, man. George Benson. He's a great guitar player, man. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. Hey, I'm 5'8". Like I'm like 5'7", 5'8", something like that. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm about that size myself. I've seen that 5'7", 5'8". We're the same size of Bruce Lee. So Bruce Lee was a badass. Bruce Lee could have beat anybody, including Mike Tyson. I don't care what anybody says. He was a badass. You know, he wasn't that little. 5'7", 5'8" is not that little, man. Oh man, guys, talk about martial arts. I'm going to change the subject for a second here, man. You've heard of Bolo Young from the old days, right? With the big arms and stuff. I was looking at Bolo Young, man, and I looked up. I wanted to know how tall he was, man. Bolo Young was only 5'5". They make him look like he's like 7 feet tall on camera, but he was only 5'5". Yeah. But if you're playing jazz, how do you know you're good in jazz? If you can just pick up a guitar and start going, just playing it right out of your head. That's when you know you're getting somewhere, when you can just like improv like that, you know. That's one of the things I discovered, you know. So it's pretty cool, man. Thanks for checking me out, guys. I really appreciate it, man. I've been playing for a long time, man. It's like on and off though. I quit playing for a long time, and I came back to it, and I was like on and off, you know, sporadic. I used to play back in the 1980s. I played all the time. I played with a band called Crossroads Blues Band, and a lot of people didn't know it was me. And I was the guitar player, but I would stand back and I would just play lead. I wore a hat and I put my head down and just play leads and stuff. And then people were like wondering who that was. You know, I didn't tell anybody who I was, man. But I just play with them because I was getting paid good. And I was with them for a few years. You know, the original Crossroads Blues Band. So I played with them for a long time. I was their lead player. You know, and but I stood back in the background. I would just play leads and stuff. Thanks. Yeah, a long time ago I had a stroke. I in 2019. Oh, I tell you guys about this. In 2019, I got COVID, and it turned into sepsis and double pneumonia. And I was in a coma. They had to induce a coma. I was in a coma for a long time, man. So I almost died in 2019. Really, again, you know, I've had several brushes with death, man. It was like close, man. That was a bad one. I went in the hospital. I was heavy. I was obese, man. I weighed like 225 or something like that, and I was fat. I went in the hospital. I came out of the hospital like 85, 90 pounds, man. After coming out of the coma, I was so skinny, man. I looked, you know, I don't even know how I woke up, but when I woke up, man, I looked at my legs were like this, dude, like that, man. I was like, you know, the bad thing about a coma, man, is if you're in a coma for a long time, you come out of the coma, you can't move your arms and legs because a thing called atrophy sets in, and you're just like wasting away while you're in a coma, man. It was a it was a rough experience, man. If it wouldn't have been for my oldest son, my oldest son just happened to be here, and you know, I was coughing and stuff, and I went out. I was sitting on the couch, and I went out, and he thought I was goofing off because I have goofed off like that before, and he started walking up the steps, but then I was just like, it kept doing like, I was breathing like that, and he came down the stairs, and he seen it. I kept doing it, and I was completely out. I don't remember doing that. He was telling me about it. He called an ambulance and stuff, and they took me to the hospital. I was fighting a respirator, so they induced a coma, and I was in a coma for a very long time. I lost all that weight. I was in a coma. I was in a coma for over a month. And I lost all that weight. And I don't know how I survived that. That was crazy. So, guys, man, hey, really, man, I really appreciate you guys coming here, man, and checking me out, man. You know, and another thing, I tell guitar players and all musicians, man, mix it up. Don't just play lead all the time. You know, mix it up. Play. Sometimes, man, like when I played with a band, we did a few songs like where I wouldn't even play lead at all. I would just play rhythm for them, and then I come back to lead later because people like lead for some reason. I mean, I love playing it too, but people like lead. They want to hear lead in the music, you know, soloing in the music. But just like all the time, it gets monotonous. You know, mix it up. You know, so I'll do something slow like. So kind of try to mix it up, and I'll even like see we had a I played in a band. We had a female singer, and we'd put her to work, man. Just 'cause, to do some songs too, man. Instead of just like jam out and get everybody all wound up. But then when you get tired of hearing, you can kind of look at your audience, like if you're playing at a club, and you kind of see when they wanna wind down and come down to something mellow, and then you just start playing something mellow for a while, and then all of a sudden they come back and they want you to rock again, and then you just come back and just blow them away with some rock. Don't play the same all the way through the show, because if you play the same all the way through the show, after a while they're gonna get tired of no matter how great you are, they're gonna get tired of it. Eventually they're gonna get tired of it. So let's say if you're doing like a 4 or 5 hour show, if you're doing especially if you're doing a long show, you might want to rock out for like 2 hours, and then take about an hour to like make it a little bit more mellow, and then take another hour like to do the really slow stuff, and then just come back and just kick ass. Like at the end of the show, just come back and start kicking ass again. People usually like that, man. When I used to play out, people love that kind of thing. They like to take the time. Guys like to take the time with their ladies to dance and stuff, right? You know, um, so I've been in relationships. I had children and stuff before too, and I've been with ladies. I loved ladies and stuff too. So when I was real young, so I had a lot of girlfriends and stuff when I was real young. So I know all about that. You're with your lady, man. You want the band to maybe come back and play something that you can dance with your woman with. Man. So right, and then you kind of like dance with your lady, and you're feeling good and stuff. And then you want to rock out again, and then you like back and forth, man. Just kind of mix it up. That's why I tell young people, just kind of mix it up and just keep it going. Keep the music going. You keep the music going, people are gonna love you. If you can keep that music going, people are gonna love you, man. And just play catchy tunes, man. Make sure, like I said, you guys, okay, like the one that was playing with a garage band. My advice: get you a recorder and record your music, and find out what's really kicking, find out what's really good, right? And then whatever, don't lie to yourself. If something sucks, say, that sucks, we're going to throw that out. You know what I mean? And throw it out, man. If it sucks, just throw it out. Because I've done it too. I had to do it too. You don't find out the hard way when people are like looking at you like, what? You know what I mean? So get you a recorder and find out what really kicks and what sucks, and throw out what sucks and play what really is catchy. And I play different styles, so I'm not the same all the time. You know what I mean? I just try to. So that's like a Django Reinhardt thing. I see him like a jazz thing. Then it mellows out and it goes. Then it comes back to. Which sounds different than everything I've been playing, right? It's different is good. I always look for different stuff, man. That's a catchy little. That kind of relaxes. You know where I got that from? There's a thing online, Beatnik Jazz. Because I'm really into the Beatnik stuff, and I found this Beatnik at the Zodiac, and I was listening to the lead player, and I was like, man, that guy is good. And it's like a style I never heard before, and I picked up some of it. I don't do everything he does, but the part I picked up was like, and it goes back to. And I think that song, that jam that he was plays there, was made before I was born. So I heard that little guitar section. Man, he does something really fantastic. That's good what I do, but he even extends on it and he does something like really fantastic guitar player in that. So if you get a chance, check that out. It's called Beatnik at the Zodiac, and it came out even before I was born, and I've been around for a very long time, but that came out even before I was born, and I heard that I was like, who the hell is playing that guitar, man? He's good, you know. Yeah, yeah. This guitar is old. I've had this. This guitar is 50 years old, and it's just something I just bring out, just brought out of the closet, man. I've had it since I was a teenager, and I need to clean it up, man. But it kind of reminds me of how I was when I was a teenager. I was just like I would walk in the damn thing. I was a hippie kid, and I was in a good band. I was a great guitar player, and really revered as a great guitar player around here. But I was like a hippie kid, and I had the hippie attitude, and I had a real long hair, way down past my shoulders, And I was like all into partying and chicks and stuff. It was different. Back then, the girls liked long hair. If you didn't have long hair, you didn't have a girlfriend. That's the way the 70s. For the most part, in the 1970s, if you didn't have long hair, you didn't get a girlfriend. I know it's kind of different now, but during the 1970s, that's how it was, you know. So I had the real long hair and the hippie look and stuff, and I was in a rock band. I was a very good rock guitar player and stuff like that. And but I didn't take care of my guitar, and I always played fast solos, and I warped like 5 frets on my guitar. So they had to do a new fret job. They pulled the original frets off. This is a Gibson Les Paul. They pulled the original frets off and they put these cheap ass frets on there. I mean, I was pissed off when I got my guitar back. I was like, man, that's nothing like the original frets. And then I started really, that's when I started kind of growing up a little bit when that happened. I was like, I was in my 20s, and I was out of the hippie stage. I had shaved my head and stuff because I didn't like long hair anymore. I started shaving my head, but um, yeah, he ruined that fret job, man. I want to, what I want to do is send it to the Gibson company and get it done right, and have the whole guitar refurbished, and then I clean it up and everything. Have it whole. I need new pickups. This pickup is sunk down into the guitar. That's how old this guitar is. This guitar is 50 years old. It's older than probably anybody here but me. You know, I'm 60. I'll be 64. I'll be 64 years old Sunday. So, you know, I've had this guitar for 50 years, and I got this guitar when I was 14 years old, 1975. So I kind of like to keep a dirty look, man, because it reminds me, you know, it's like how long I've had this guitar, man. It's just like it's insane. But I need to clean it up. I'm gonna send it to the Gibson company and have them refurbish it and make it really look good and have the, because I want to keep it. I don't care about if it decreases the value or what this just does, because I want to get it. I just want to keep it. I don't ever want to lose this guitar, so I'm gonna go ahead and send it to the Gibson company. Get the original frets put back on here. The original Gibson guitar frets are thick. If you look at a Gibson Les Paul Custom, you go in a music store and you look at that guitar, the frets are thick. Okay, these are got the thin, cheap ass frets on there, man. Like, pissed me off that that guy did that. But what are you gonna do, man? You know? Yeah, yeah. And a lot of times, man, you just play the shit out of your guitar, and I've seen a lot of, even Van Halen. If you looked at Van Halen's guitar, man, like his old Frankenstein guitar, and you look at the fingerboard, man, all worn and all it's got black stuff all, you know, it's like you could tell he played the living shit out of that guitar. That's how he got so good, though. He played the living shit out of that guitar, man. He probably slept with the damn thing. I'm sure he did, man, as well as he played. As great as he was, as great as Eddie Van Halen was, I'm sure he even slept with his guitar. You know, a lot of times he played that thing so much, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh man, Jeff Beck is phenomenal, man. I used to play that song Freeway, but I don't really want to touch on Beck because I don't have the distortion and stuff. I don't have the sound effects, man, and it's not gonna sound right, you know, to do that. But yeah, I love Beck, man. I used to play that song, The Pump. Let's see, The Pump, uh, Freeway Jam. Let me see, Jeff Beck, Freeway Jam, The Pump, Jeff Beck, Wired, Lead Boots. You ever heard of Lead Boots? Oh man, Roy Clark's like untouchable, man. Roy Clark was so good, man. Roy Clark would he would do that flamenco music, man. I seen Roy Clark one time at the August Fest where I live. We had what was called an August Fest, and he was doing that flamenco stuff, and he was like popping the strings and stuff. I was like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, damn, that guy's awesome, man. Clark, yeah, Clark was. Uh, Roy Clark is a better guitar. Well, I wouldn't say better. I would say you got to kind of appreciate both of them because Roy had his own style and Eddie Van Halen had his own style. So you can't really say who's better because it's two different styles, man. It's like me, I play jazz. So if I got on stage with Van Halen, man, I mean, Halen's gonna be able. He would be able to show me up. I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good classic rock guitar player, but he would be able to show me up because but like in jazz and stuff, I don't know, man, because I'm pretty good at jazz, man. So um, each person's good at their own genre, you know. I respect everybody. I'm not saying who's the best because it's hard. Because everybody's, you know, that plays well. I just love everybody, you know, that plays well. There's a lot of different styles of music. It's like, you know, it's like bluegrass. That's bluegrass right there. Blue like jazz, yeah. You know, so you just play, you play. I play a lot of different styles, man. So you just you'd be able to play. See what I'm saying? Like a country style. See what I'm doing there? It's like country style. That's like a country style playing, you know. Gets the chords out a little bit short in it. No, jazz has there's different styles of jazz, man. There's so many different. There's like bluesy jazz. There's swing jazz. There's progressive jazz. I think Charlie Parker played the bebop jazz. There's bebop jazz, which is very progressive. Charlie Parker. What Charlie Parker did is like he revolutionized the jazz genre, and he basically mapped it all out for everybody. You know, that's what is used in all types of jazz. So when you're talking about jazz, man, you're talking about a lot of different. There's a lot of different styles of jazz, man. There's smooth jazz. There's swing. There's bebop. There's beatnik jazz. There's fusion. Fusion is actually jazz, but it's called fusion because it adds rock to it, like a rock sound to it. And then you got the real smooth. So it's that's something like that. Something smooth where you're just playing chords. So you're like, so there's a lot of different types. There's different ways they play songs and stuff. Depends on what kind of, you know what I mean, what you're into. So so it's yeah, it's kind of hard. That's like all the things you are. I played the chords to the first version, and then I played like a slower version, and then I did. That's basically Hank Garland. If you look up all the things you are by Hank Garland, that was the last version I played. Um, it's like different types of jazz, man. There's the George Benson type jazz, but George Benson covers everything. He played a lot of pop songs, but man, he can do all of it. He could. George Benson's a phenomenally great guitar player, man. I'm talking about nobody can really touch him. He's a legend. Uh, yeah, I know, man. Jazz is tough, dude. It is not something that it takes a dedication to kind of learn how to play it, and yeah, man, it's just like really tough, man. It's a tough genre of music, and you got to like it. Some people don't like jazz, or they like maybe a specific type of jazz or something. There's so many different areas of jazz. There you go again. Sometimes something can be very complicated to play, but it just might not suit your fancy. You might just not like that style of music. That's the way I am. I don't care how easy or how hard something is to play. If, if I don't like it, I don't like it. You know what I mean? But sometimes something can be so simple to play, and but I still like it, even though it's simple. You know? Right. I do too, man. I like all kinds of music, man. Everything out there that's good. Yeah, like a blues. So yeah, that's like a blues. Well, guys, I gotta take off, man. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hendrix. I was doing that earlier. That little wing. Yeah, I ain't played that in a while, but I was trying to remember how it goes, man. It's been a while since I played that. You know what that is, right? That's a little wing. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, yeah. Hendrix. I love Hendrix, man. Hendrix was in a league all of his own. Like as an all around player, he was like great, man. He's like, and he created his own thing, man. So people loved him, you know. I kind of like relate. I know they had two different styles, but I relate Hendrix and Jeff Beck a lot because they both played Strass and they both came out with their own thing that nobody else was doing, and they were phenomenal, man. So I'm a big Hendrix fan. I'm a big Jeff Beck fan, and I love all those guys, man. I think they're great, you know. Um, so yeah, I like everybody that's good, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Is I love everybody that's good, man. And you know, there's a lot of excellent players out there, and then we have the legends that we always have to respect. My favorite guitar player for modern music, and he's kind of getting old, but he was my favorite guitar player for all around player is Larry Carlton, man. I mean, if you watch everything he could do, man, watch him in the Pump with Steve Lukather. Watch his solo. Steve Lukather's solo is legendary as it is, but when Larry came to do his solo, I thought he'd be stuck because it's a different style. Nah, man, Larry just blew everybody away. He blew my mind, man. It was so phenomenally good. So I would say Larry Carlton is my personal favorite guitar player of all time. I'm talking about guitar players of all time because Carlton can do everything, man. Oh yeah, by Metallica. I love the song, but I don't actually know that one. You know, I've been doing a lot of jazz stuff, and then I come into this rock, and it's kind of like, oh, I got to sit down and think about it. You know, it's weird. Music is weird, man, because you play complicated music, and then you come back and try to play something simple, and you're like, how do you do that? And it's easy. I know it's easy, but you forget it. You know, it's like, but I love Metallica. That's a very good band. But I'm going to tell you a band that I liked as good as Metallica. Pantera. Pantera, man. Oh man, when Dimebag got killed, man, I cried, man. That guy was so good. Dimebag Daryl. Oh man, nobody had a sound like him. You know. Have you ever heard of him, Dimebag Daryl? He was phenomenal, man. I was a huge fan of his. He was a metal player. Huge fan of Dimebag Daryl because he was completely all original, and he was just like he just blew my mind, man. He played that song "Walk," that lead solo to "Walk." Watch that, and I'm like, he's getting all these sounds out of the guitar. I'm like, that's impossible, but he's doing it. Like, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna take off, man. Hey, guys, thanks for checking me out, man. I really appreciate the support and everything. I'm glad you guys could show up and you know and listen to what I'm doing, man. I appreciate it. But Remember what I said, scales and modes are important when you're learning guitar, when you're playing guitar. Even if you like even if you have to start out like on blues and pentatonics to start out with, still get books on it and like in secret learn your scales and modes because it's going to help you in the future, man. Okay? So that's my advice. Okay, thanks for checking me out. And I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and everything in New Year's. If I don't see it, I might see you before then. I'll probably be doing videos before then. But if I don't see it, I just hope you have, everything goes well for all of you. And I appreciate you showing up and you know, I had a good time. All right, man. I'm gonna take off, man. Okay, peace. Rock on, guys.